I'm Oliver. I am a PhD candidate at COSIC in KU Leuven. I did my master's in mathematics here, and now I spend my time doing FHE and MPC research. I first heard about FHE during a cryptography course during my master's. I was starting to get sick of, very theoretical math and started exploring what other options were out there. And during this cryptography course, they, covered MPC and they covered FHE, and I thought, well, that's cool. Why haven't we been doing this, the whole time? Why does it have to be encrypt, decrypt, and then, do the computation that way? So I thought that concept was very cool. And then, you get into the weeds. And that bit I found less fun at the time, but I'm warming up to it over time. My favorite FHE scheme is also the one that I've spent the most time on, which is final. I just think there's something cool about taking two very different schemes and shoving them together and going, well, this actually secretly works somehow. I spent the first part of my PhD doing MPC things, well, like secret sharing based MPC things. And at some point I went, okay, well, what are the other options for, getting the MPC functionality, but not using secret sharing? So I also spent some time in garbled circuits, and now I've spent the last while doing multi-key and multi-party FHE because it is another method of getting the same results. The biggest challenge when I first came in is also my biggest challenge now, which is keeping track of what field or ring everything is in. Abusive notation is rampant and, dare I say, necessary for FHE research, and I just find it, once you get into the details, then it gets really confusing keeping track of what goes where. I see it going towards a kind of semi-practical use case. I don't necessarily see FHE or, in general MPC for that matter, getting general widespread adoption like you see end-to-end encryption getting these days. I think the computational overhead will always be slightly too much for that. But I do see both, I do see FHE becoming more and more viable for more specific cases. Oh, we're going to come right back to my biggest challenge in FHE, which is notation. The biggest challenge is reading papers and figuring out what is going on at any given point in the more technical bits. So the biggest thing that should be improved is really just that, in my opinion. If you have if you have the ability to do relatively basic algebra, you can do FHE. There are people stupider than you doing it. I am evidence of that. Just make sure you spend enough time figuring out what goes in what field.